So, my bad, guys. I didn't realize it was recording. But polarizing relationships. So I had a Patreon member ask, "What does it mean to polarize?" First, I'm gonna say you need to be listening to the podcast, guys. Listen to the fucking podcast. I do 30-minute talks on all this shit. A lot of the questions that you have are on the podcast. I'll post the podcast again on Patreon. The podcast is mainly geared towards relationship dynamics. Now I'll answer questions here and there, but I did. There's almost 2 years worth of work on the motherfucking podcast, right? There's over. I wanted to say over fucking, a week's worth of podcasts. Maybe I want to say maybe 80 hours, right, of shit on there that you guys can go and watch dealing with relationship dynamics. The Patreon is geared more towards game. I mean, that's game too, but this is more, more techniques and tactics and more exclusive podcasts, right? But as far as polarizing relationship, what it means to polarize your relationship is basically you're not afraid of basically calling her out on her shit. You're not afraid of saying no. You're not afraid to stand up to her. You're not afraid of losing her, right? Because there's this idea that when guys don't stand up to a girl, like say if you come across the prettiest girl and you've ever met, right? Complete 10 like 100% natural, long, beautiful hair, perfect skin tone, whatever skin tone you like the most, right? It doesn't matter. I like all skin tones, but clean skin, right? Fat, juicy, natural, perky ass, just soft and fluffy, perky titties, big titties, beautiful eye color, voluptuous lips, just very symmetrical face, all the perfect traits that you can ever think. And then she's super feminine on top of that, right? So usually if you meet a girl like this and she might be a little above average than what you're used to talking to, you'll be a little wary of how you talk to her. Why? Because you don't want to piss her off and take the chance of losing her. But what it means to polarize your relationship is the exact opposite. Because when guys do that, when guys get a pretty girl that they're usually that looks a little better than what they're used to talking to. And it's normal because, and in the world in general, like there are less 9s and 10s than there are 6s, 5s, and even 7s, right? And maybe even 8s. But the 9s and 10s and even sometimes the 8s, you don't usually come across that much. So when you do come across them, you're like, oh man, I don't want to fuck this up. And then that's when guys are like, oh, I'm good at gaming girls, but this girl, I like her so much. Yeah, first of all, no, you're not. If you were good at gaming girls, you would have enough IQ, gaming IQ to understand that I can't treat her differently. Because when I treat her differently, then that's how you end up losing her. Or that's when you start overcompensating when you shouldn't be. She's a regular girl. You treat her like a regular fucking girl. If she breathes air like you and I, if she bleeds like you and I, she's a regular fucking girl. Don't put her on a pedestal. So that's what it means basically to polarize your relationship. You're not going to put her on a pedestal. You're not going to be like, oh man, I don't want to mess this up, so I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to be afraid to disagree with her. Or if we do have a disagreement, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. You're right. And it's that very thing that turns those girls off because those pretty girls are used to that. So what you have to do is don't be afraid to polarize that relationship. And that's just me in general. And it's so funny. And like I said, when I first started learning game, I was just like, damn, I already do a lot of this shit naturally. That's just who I am. I'm not going to say I'm just an argumentative person off the rip, but if I don't agree, you would definitely hear my opinion. And as I've gotten older in age, I'm talking older age like I'm 40. I'm only 28, right? But as I've gotten older, I've learned to just at least not argue so much, at least to pick and choose my battles, right, as far as argument goes in foot debates. But when it comes to females, if you have a disagreement with her, just say, you know what, I don't agree with that. I'm going to have to disagree with you. I don't think you're exactly right. And you would tell her these things, right? It's versus you being, oh, damn, I don't want to piss her off. Right? If she disrespects you, you're going to call her out on it. Listen, don't disrespect me. Did I disrespect you? No, I didn't. So don't disrespect me. Thank you very much. So, and it's just things like that. Things like, if she's wrong, don't be afraid to call her out and tell her she's fucking wrong, right? Little shit. Guys would be like, oh yeah, even like say if it's something at work, right? And she'd be like, oh babe, I got into an argument today at work. And most guys just listen and like, oh yeah, word, babe, that's crazy. Oh damn, I can't believe Stacy did that, right? But then if you actually listening, right? And you're being attentive, and she says, oh, babe, at work, Stacy Stacy was fucking, Stacy, I stole Stacy's silverware or roll up, because I know I worked in a restaurant, so we roll up silverware and you have to roll them up. She was like, I stole Stacy's silverware, and she cursed me out. Well, how many of her silverwares did you take? I took like 20. How many is she supposed to roll for the night? 40 before she can leave, but I took 20 and she had the nerve to curse me out. Isn't that crazy? Isn't she such a bitch? Well, most guys would be like, well, babe, yeah, she's a bitch, fuck her. But no, you'd polarize your relationship like, well, babe, that was a little fucked up. Who's texting me? That was a little fucked up. And I'd probably curse you out too. If I was about to leave and you took 20 of my 40 roll-ups, half of my roll-ups, and I have to go roll 20 more, not only would I curse you out, if I was a girl, I'd probably fight you. I swing on you, right? So don't be afraid to polarize your relationship. Don't be afraid to disagree with her. If she's wrong, call her out on her shit, right? Now, if a situation like that, it's not really putting somebody at risk. So if you're at work with her and she tells you about it in front of that girl, you're not going to be like, oh, babe, that was an asshole thing to do. No, you're like, yeah, babe, I feel you. She shouldn't have cursed at you like that. But when you get back to the car, you say, listen, you were really wrong for that. I'm not going to embarrass you in front of her because you're my girlfriend and she's not my girlfriend. So I'm going to agree with you in person because I'm not going to embarrass you because you're my girlfriend. And obviously I have some type of feelings for you, whether I love you or not. That's up to you, whether you love your girlfriend or not. But when you get back to the car, you're going to tell her, listen, I don't agree with that shit. That's not cool. And you shouldn't do it because that's really fucked up. And you were wrong for that, right? So you're going to tell her that. And you're going to tell her these things like, listen, that's not right. But you're not afraid to disagree with her. You're not going to let her disrespect you. If she does something, you're going to call her out on it. And sometimes it's just like not even giving certainty. Could be polarizing a relationship. If she says, oh, baby, I just want to know that you won't leave me no matter what. And no, I won't leave you. But if you do something that warrants leaving, then yes, right? If you cheat on me, I'm definitely going to fucking leave you. If you get into a fight with my mother, like a physical fight, I guess I'm going to leave you. If I feel like you're talking to other guys in ways that are a little inappropriate for my girlfriend to be doing, I might leave you, right? Because some girls consider talking to other girls cheating, even though I don't. As men, we're not going to do that, right? We're not going to do that. But yeah, you have to polarize your relationship, and even so much so, like when you're approaching girls. Like approaching a girl when you first meet her. Don't be afraid to polarize, because when you polarize your relationship at the beginning of an interaction, that shows higher value, right? And higher value basically means that I am of a higher status. I am of a higher value than you are. You're conveying that I'm used to talking to just as beautiful girls are beautiful girls, because even though you're beautiful, I'm not going to be, pandering to you or catering to you, even though you're super beautiful, because that's what beautiful girls are used to. They're used to guys saying, oh, whatever you say, yeah, I totally agree. Guys is an asshole. I mean, yeah, like I like Pokemon cards, but if you think they're stupid, then I probably wouldn't play with them, right? Because you're pandering to her, you're catering to her. But polarize your relationship at the beginning, because if she says, oh, Pokemon cards are stupid, well, no, they're not. I have tons of Pokemon cards and I love them, right? And she could be trying to shit test you. Well, whoever plays with Pokemon cards is losers. I'm like, damn, I'm the biggest loser in the fucking world. Oh well. Right? And that's a shit test. But usually when she's shit testing you, she's thinking you're a viable option. She's considering you as a option to date or possibly to have sex with. But women only do that when they consider you an option, right? But that's because she wants to test you. If she's not testing you, that's when you need to get worried. But that's a part of polarizing a relationship, and you should polarize even at the beginning of an interaction. If you approach a girl and it gets to a situation where you have to disagree with her, if she says, oh my God, I was just talking to my coworker and we were arguing because I was telling him that the ocean is blue. Well, no, it's not blue. It's the reflection of the sky. Water is clear. When you pour a glass of water, it isn't fucking blue. Water has no color. It's transparent. It's translucent, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But the point is, you're not afraid to polarize your relationship. You're not afraid to disagree with her, and you're demonstrating higher value. Because most guys aren't doing that to beautiful girls. Most guys aren't even approaching beautiful girls. So make sure you stand out and make sure you're not afraid to do those things. Make sure you're not afraid to polarize that relationship, right? And that's basically what polarizing is. And that's how you keep a relationship long term. And once she gets used to that and she sees, okay, this guy's not afraid to stand up to me, I can respect him. Versus any other regular guy that's just like, oh yeah, baby, you know what? I agree with you. I give you whatever you want. Fuck that. No, that's not what I'm teaching you guys. And if you're in my school of thought when it comes to talking to women in this whole way of being a man and that way of life, then you're going to know polarizing your relationship is the best thing to do. Some guys aren't even aware of this. This is why I call it like being in the Matrix. Because some guys aren't even aware that what this is. Most guys don't check girls. They just let them disrespect them any type of fucking way. Most people don't polarize their relationships. And that's why the divorce rate is so high. I had a conversation with a girl one time and she's like, oh, well, most guys are cheating. No, they're not. If you even look at the statistics on whatever statistics that are taken on it, whether it be black people or white people, Hispanic people, whatever it is, right? Statistics say that women are cheating more. Why? Just simply because even if that percentage of in particular study says that men cheat 26% more versus women 22%, but you gotta or 24%, but you gotta account that there are more women in this world in just about every population in every society than there are men, right? Except for maybe Tinder, because you motherfuckers is lazy and you don't want to do any approach. That's the only population where, you know, men outnumber women. That's why they have so many options, right? So that is a thing. So if so with that being said, polarize your relationship. Most guys aren't aware of this, and as basic and rudimentary as it may sound, it's very fundamental and it's very good knowledge to know. Don't be afraid to stand up to her. And a lot of guys say they polarize their relationships, but they don't. And that's why they lose their women. So polarize your relationship from the beginning of the approach to until you get married, until death do you part, whatever the fuck ever it is the status of your relationship. Polarize it, right?